the Diva. Okay, I'm sitting on the floor tonight, y'all. Diva time. Let me see, can I bring it down just a little bit lower for you guys, for anyone who's going to join the conversation? Um, so what's up, everybody? Thank God it's Friday. Friday night, feeling right. Yes, honey, it is Friday. I am so relieved. Y'all, after being unemployed for over a year and getting back into workforce and doing the 9 to 5, or in my case, 8 to 5, or 8:30 to 5:30 is what I really do go in. It's hard getting back in the saddle. I am truly exhausted. I don't even know how I got home today. Okay. But, anyways, this has been an interesting week for us. I don't know if you guys remember, but years ago when I lived in LA, I used to hop on here on Friday nights just randomly, no set schedule, and just start talking about the headlines. And if you also remember, when I lived in Atlanta for about 6 months, I had a internet radio show that I did. So I'm going to try to start getting back into the saddle and doing the things that I enjoy. And yes, that does also include possibly going back up on stage and doing stand up comedy. Lord knows the past year has given me a lot to write about and a lot to talk about. So, anyways, I just want to say to anyone listening out there, can we please pass a law where we don't have to work 4 days a week? I feel like it's a total imbalance that we have to work. I mean, there's just something not rational about the fact that you have to work 5 days and only get 2 days off. And really, like everyone has stated time and time again on social media, is that you have anxiety on Sunday because you know you got to go. Saturday is really the only day you have free. So I feel like we should have either Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off, or we should have Saturday, Sunday, Mondays off. I think that would be fair. Hey, Liv, welcome to the conversation. So, anyway, I'm just saying, y'all, it kicked my butt because I don't get me wrong. So far, I like and enjoy my job. I enjoy my peers so far. But I'm just exhausted because think about it, I haven't done this in over a year. And you really, girl, what's going on is me. I survived the work week. What about you? I survived the work week. Okay, this is week 2. Okay, this is week 2 of the new job. Okay, so I have survived 2 weeks. So what happened this week, y'all? So first of all, many of you, thank you all for liking, and also thanks to all my new subscribers. Uh, no, honey, I'm married. Okay, I'm married. Don't come on here with that nasty stuff. I see y'all on here trying to talk nasty. Y'all been gone somewhere, honey. I'm a good Southern Christian woman, honey. No, and I do curse sometimes. Um, but no, we saw the tragic story of a total freak accident. One of my childhood heartthrobs, and who eventually became more like a big brother to all of us, Malcolm Jamal Warner. I talked about that earlier this week. Still trying to wrap my head around that. And the fact that we find out as the story unfolds that his 8-year-old daughter was with him. That's what really hurt. And like my friend said, his last thoughts were thinking about his daughter. What's the topic? I've been gone. Right now, we're just going to talk about all these people that did all these celebrity deaths. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about today, for right now. But we also got to talk about astronomer. Okay, y'all know Coldplay, honey. Some more stuff has come out. Okay, which I think is ridiculous. Okay, if in fact these stories are true. Um, so, in addition to Malcolm Jamal Warner, we lost Ozzy Osbourne. I really don't have, a lot of people. I feel because I enjoyed Ozzy back in the day. I do like rock music. I do listen to a variety of music. My selection in music is very eclectic. So I remember, and some days I still do that. I'll catch myself walking through the house, like that hit song he had, like back in the 90s, Mama, I'm Coming Home. I love that song. I rock that song. I don't think I ever got into any Black Sabbath stuff, though. I don't think I ever got into that. But that's sad. Sharon Osbourne, I can't remember what she did, but I think she got canceled. She said something inappropriate, I believe. So, but rest in peace to Ozzy. I mean, he lived actually longer than what we anticipated, honestly, because Ozzy back in the day was on some drugs. Yeah, some drugs. Um, But then there was also another singer that I've heard her name, but I'm not familiar. I'm sure how you have songs that everybody hear. You'd be like, "Oh, I didn't know that was her that sang it." I'm pretty sure if I pulled that up, I would know. Connie Francis passed away. Um, and who else? Chuck Manone, the jazz artist, passed away. But Hulk Hogan. Okay. If I see one more damn tribute, Warrior, I don't care what you think I look like, quite frankly. If you're gonna come over here and say hateful things, we can just get rid of you too. Okay. We got rid of that person. I don't need nobody coming in here trying to talk about somebody. Ain't nobody trying. Look, it's too much going on in the world for people to be trying to spew hate and coming on here talking about I look. Somebody just said I look like Steve Harvey. Where the fuck I look like Steve Harvey? Okay. Um. So, what was I talking about? If I see one more goddamn tribute, y'all put Jamal Warner with Hulk Hogan, and everyone is saying the same thing, damn near. Especially to the people in the community, the black community, y'all. But like I said, all skin folk ain't kin folk. People were on Mike Epps' page on Instagram are trying to argue with me about, oh, he gave his life to Christ. He's a Christian. Well, 2 weeks ago, I heard he was just down there at Alligator Alcatraz posing. How you doing, brother? Okay. Yes, I grew up watching wrestling. I grew up a fan of Hulk Hogan. But when I found out he didn't like people that looked like me or cared about people that look like me, I moved on. He's canceled in my world. He doesn't exist. I don't know how his family feel about him because I know he was upset because his daughter was dating a black dude at one point or had slept with one. Um, so it's just one of those things where I don't get it. And I'm like, we all know how Malcolm Jamal Warner was kind of militant. I mean, he was named after Malcolm X, his first name anyway, and then Jamal, he was named after a jazz, who was a jazz musician, Ahmad Jamal, I think was the musician's name. So it's like, why would you put him with a racist? I'm sorry. I mean, I mean, and then somebody said he gave his life to Christ, and I'm just like, y'all do know what Christian nationalism is, right? That's not even really Christianity. That's just them appropriating Jesus's name, God's name, and saying, "Oh, we believe in God," and they don't. Okay, that's just the bottom line. They playing everybody. If y'all want to see the documentary and do some more research, there's a documentary right now on Peacock about Christian nationalism. Okay, and it just amazes me how people are upset that folk don't want to pay homage to Hulk Hogan. I mean, he destroyed his own legacy. You know, um, you're probably right. What am I right about, Dave? Um, Hello, Dave. So, it's just one of those things. Hulk Hogan was just not a good person. I just saw a young lady here posted she was one of those promotional models. She was hired to help promote his beer brand, a young black lady. And he told her, oh, the team has decided to cancel. Oh, thank you. All the events. And then come to find out, not all the events were canceled. He just, when he found out she was black, he got rid of her. So there are more stories coming out about that. But also the good Christian in me that I was raised to be, I also will send up a prayer for his family because they probably are grieving and really hurt that they lost their father and their husband. Although I'm sure the wife is excited about the inheritance unless she had a limited who was his pastor? I don't know. Somebody just said it on Instagram and they were fighting with me or attempting to fight. Honestly, I just block people who say stupid stuff because I'm like, I'm not going to sit up here and look like a fool. Because, once you start arguing with the fool, can't nobody tell who the fool is, right? So, um, that's that. Child, they even got a video of the man being carried out on the stretcher out of his house. Lord Jesus, I said, we just pick up a camera and do anything. Speaking of picking up cameras, so if y'all go to my Facebook, because I have a Miss Sophia the Diva Facebook, I just posted a video. I went to Ross today. All I wanted from Ross was to get some slippers. Now, mind you, I'm kind of in a haze because I am tired. This week, as I said at the top of this video, has kicked my behind. I am beyond tired. I am at level tired. Okay, we just dropped the R. Okay, and drop that E and switch the D and E out, and we got tied. Okay, that's what I am. So y'all, this Latino lady, Mexican lady, I don't know what she was. She decided she was gonna pooch her ass into Ross and get on speakerphone and start talking and having a whole conversation. Hello, Mike. Having a whole conversation with her, I guess probably family members. I don't know who she was talking to because at one point everybody was speaking in Spanish and it was like three people. And I'm like, girl, first of all, why are y'all loud with it? Because you don't know ICE might be right here in this Ross and come get y'all. Y'all know they rounding up anybody. It's obvious that you probably were not born here, okay? Or if you were, your parents probably are. They trying to get rid of everybody, okay? Everybody that's from the South. They want y'all gone, okay, unless you're South African white, okay, African. Okay. So anyway, if y'all, I don't know what it is about people that like to go in public and watch and get on FaceTime or just be on the phone and she was loud and I'm like, lady, I am so. At one point, I started to join the conversation. I started to say, "Hola, Ados míos." Okay, my God, cerrar la bocas. Okay, so as a matter of fact, I think next time somebody's doing that stupid shit, I think I am gonna join the conversation. Do y'all think I should do it? Okay, I'm scary. I know I'm a big girl. I'm 5'11", probably 250 pounds right now because that's another thing. Y'all, I gotta find a gym here in Vegas, or actually Henderson. That's where I really am. But I've got to find a gym because y'all, since the girl been off work, my clothes don't fit. I put on some pants Thursday. I was like, "Ooh, I can't wait till Friday." So I put on my comfortable jeans. I put on some slacks that have always been my slacks. They always fit, no matter how thick I get. Child, that little button, I forgot what it's called, but the button that kind of bridges the pieces together, and then you have your overlay button. I don't know. I'm not a tailor. I never learned how to sew. I pay people at the dry cleaners to put buttons back on for me. Okay, Mike, you Mexican. It is nice to meet you. I have no history. Um, I have no sensitivity when it comes to anybody. I embrace everyone, okay? But if you acting a fool, guess what? I'm gonna call you out on acting a fool, okay? So please know anyway, Miss Fia the Diva embraces everyone. Um, you know, within reason, of course. I don't care for racists because I don't know. You might cause bodily harm to me. I don't know. Um, but back on topic, what were we talking about? People in public using the phone, please get y'all some headphones or just leave your phone at home. Mike wants to know what my favorite color is. If you must know, there is actually three colors. Okay, number one, but my favorite color is purple. I'm a huge Prince fan. Um, when I don't go out for my birthday eve, which is my birthday is actually New Year's Day, but on New Year's Eve, Prince and I often spend a lot of time together because I watch Purple Rain and Under the Cherry Moon. And then because I am a member of the prestigious and illustrious Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Pink and Green, if you know what I mean. Skiwi. Um, but let's see what else I want to talk about. Oh, let's talk about astronomer. So everybody knows last week the CEO of astronomer who has been put on leave. I don't know if he's since been released or he just quit. I'm trying to see. And then Christian Cabot, who was the head of HR, the head of HR, of course, they got busted at the Coldplay concert. Now, that's not all. You could tell the people around them, they were probably coworkers, also knew I have to go. I'll be back. Okay, thanks, Mike. I think I have enough to cover. I should be on here for at least another 10 minutes. But I I just looked and I said, y'all all knew. Yeah, you have a good evening. Y'all all knew that these people were sitting up here creeping. Now, Megan, the CEO's wife, honey, she's living the soft life. She don't care because she knows she about to get paid, number one. If you gonna cheat, don't bring your side salad out in public. That's what I said. Or, as the late great David A. Arnold would call them, broccoli bitches. Don't bring them out in public if you don't want to get busted. Now, the CEO, what is this man's name? What was his name? So, Kristen Cabot was the HR person, right? And then the CEO, what was his name? Yeah, during a concert at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. The CEO's last name is Byron. What was his CEO? Andy Byron. That was his name. So Andy Byron and Kristen Cabot were all snuggled up. And, you know, like everyone said, y'all should have just played it off and just, oh, look, it's the kiss cam. Let's kiss, even though you're my boss and I'm your subordinate. Okay. So now they both want to sue Coldplay because the astronomer said he felt like his privacy was invaded. Sir, even in criminal law, we are taught there is no expectation of privacy outside of your home. There is a limited amount of privacy in your vehicle to some extent. But I don't know. And he talking about he gonna sue. Sir, that's frivolous. Just take the L and move on. And if your lawyers foul, I guarantee you will probably get what is it, Rule 11. Yeah, you'll probably get a Rule 11 sanction. So I don't understand why you want to sue. And Kristen says she want to sue too. Now, the funnier part of it is Astronomer has created an HR video on what not to do at work with your coworkers, and guess who they using? Who was Chris Martin married to at one point and had, I think, 2 children? I know one child named Apple. Anyway, Gwyneth Paltrow. Cheating in the next room. Yeah, I said, y'all just really y'all really are a hot mess, and you really thought that what you did, now you want to cry out, oh, we're the injured party. And then with Kristen, like everyone was saying, some people have been digging. We really can't figure out, is this woman really married? Or is she, just shacked up like common law kind of? But her and some dude just brought a property. And I think dude is a billionaire. But that's crazy. So that happened this week, and that's what's going on this week. Also, South Park. Did y'all get to see, even if you didn't see the entire episode, South Park addressed the CBS settlement of the lawsuit and the canceling of Colbert by doing a wonderful segment on Angry Wig. You know, the man they say is our president. I refuse to say his name. Sometimes I refer to him as Diaper Don. It just all depends on my mood. So they did this thing where they were like, oh, we've settled with the president. And then they said, but part of the deal is we have to do advertising um, for him. And baby, that ad that they did, I know, I am surprised we have not seen a meltdown from him. But then again, he might not be aware or know about it because remember, it took him at least 24 to 48 hours to find out that people were referring to him as Taco, T-Rump, always chickens out. So now South Park done it to him. And he's real. What I find so interesting, and I discussed this earlier this week, is that his base, the MAGA base, hey Mike, the MAGA base is upset over a list. But I'm like, I'm glad because maybe this will break up the madness. And then y'all remember the dude that was a January Sixer that what was he, the shaman? Child, he made Angry Wig. He posted something about the fact that in order for him to get billions, shaman is claiming that Angry Wig slept with a dead corpse. I said, oh, so he's into necrophilia too. Now, I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying that's what the man posted on Twitter. Oh, thank you, Mike, for subscribing and liking. So I don't know, but his base is falling apart, child. I mean, they just really upset about a list. But I was like, y'all weren't upset when he was playing with these tariffs and the market was crashing, your retirement accounts were messed up. Y'all ain't upset about the big beautiful bill. It ain't nothing beautiful. It's all gonna be ugly unless we can get something reversed and get off this train wreck we in, or get out of this train wreck we in, mother. I mean, it just don't make any sense. Oh, that's what I want to talk about. So, did y'all hear about the sister on the Delta airline that kept Looney Tunes from getting to the cockpit? Lord, flight lady stops woman from going into cockpit. Stops woman from going into cockpit. Yeah, a Georgia grandmother stops passenger from storming the cockpit. According to AI, because I love AI with when it gives the summation, because y'all know my ADH brain will go. On a Delta flight from Atlanta to Tucson, a passenger identified as Nicole Pruitt intervened to stop another passenger from attempting to enter the cockpit. Pruitt, a grandmother and Army vet, go Army, huh? Reportedly took down. Y'all know I'm a vet too. I'm a former military police officer and legal specialist. I was in the reserves though. I did not do active duty. I wish I had in hindsight, but I didn't. A grandmother and Army veteran reportedly took down the woman who was trying to force her way into the cockpit. The incident occurred about 20 minutes into the flight. Pruitt stated that she felt her life was in danger. The flight was turned around and returned to Atlanta. Delta has acknowledged the incident and thanked those who helped de escalate the situation. I think that woman deserves, what do you think, lifetime flights in first class. She did you a favor because it could have turned out a whole lot worse if that lady had gotten to that cockpit. We don't know what her intent was. We don't know. But thank you, Miss Pruitt. You are a hero. And thank you for your service. So that happened. What else is going on? I don't know what's going on. Y'all, I'm so tired. It's just been so much going on. And what are we going to do about this younger generation that we have? So I don't know. I think it's, what's his name? NBA young boy. Is that his name? Child. First of all, he on child 12, 13. He done made an album called Massa. And y'all know who he praising? Diaper Dumb. I really don't know what's going on with this generation. And then you have, but I know what it is. It's drugs. It's got to be drugs. Because what's that other child name? Might get you some rest here. Have a good night. Um, how you gonna praise the man who's oppressing you? Make that make sense. And people think, oh, I got money, I got cheddar, I got this it don't matter. He still don't like you. So, you going live stream? No, I am. I may. It just depends on my mood. I may possibly be going to the Beyonce concert if I can find an inexpensive ticket. Because y'all know Diva is starting over in life. My life is starting over here in Vegas. But I really want to see Beyonce. I love Beyonce. I'm from Dallas. She's from Houston. As far as I'm concerned, she's cousin Bay. So anyways, if I can find a cheap ticket that's under 100, which I think that is possible through StubHub, I will live stream from Cowboy Carter. And I have my cowboy hat with me too. And I brought a pair of boots just in case. Because I knew I was moving here and I was like, let me take a pair of boots out of storage. Because y'all, I drove down here with whatever I could fit in my car. Because I was like, I got to get to this job. Because baby, Diva ain't never been without a job since she was 15 years old. Okay. Anyway, that's what I will be doing. But for sure, every Friday night, I'm going to try to come on here consistently. But if something happens during the week, I'll just pop in. But you can also check out my Instagram too. Sometimes I do lives there. It just depends on how I feel. Because I used to be more consistent years ago. Well, not me. Let me not say years ago, but a few years ago. And then I kind of just fell off. So that's what's going on. I'm trying to see what else is going on, y'all, because I really know there's a lot more going on, but I just really, um, it's just been a really long week, but I am grateful for the opportunity. Like I said, so far so good. You have a good night. So far so good, but like I said, I really do have PTSD from the last place I worked. I really do. To this day I still will never understand. And one of the ladies that I befriended, she left before me, and she don't want to talk about it. Honestly, I don't blame her. Um, but I got my benefits back, thank God. But even then, I think I'm not sure how it works, but I know I could probably go to the VA because I now have a service connected injury that I can get treated for at the VA. So, but I don't know if, the other stuff that I would need, like my women's health and all of that, can I do that now that I have a service connected injury? And I really haven't researched it because y'all, I just went and signed up and they were like, here you go. I was like, okay, thank you. Um, they evaluated my case and then May? Yeah, May. And y'all, the disability checks ain't what people like. For me, I think I'm 10% disabled is what I'm considered. Um, so it and with my rank, I wish I had gotten my E5, but I just when I was at Fort Jackson, something happened, and I just really was like, I don't want to do this. You people really don't give a fuck about us. And that was when I was working on my second certification or job training because I did MP at Fort McClellan, in Fort McClellan, Alabama, Anniston, Alabama. Of course, I think it's an Air Force or Navy base now. I don't know. And then I went to Fort Jackson, South Carolina, and yeah, trained there. But I had a creepy ass roommate. That girl was creepy, and I asked to change rooms. And then my platoon sergeant talking about, what would you do if you were in a foxhole? This ain't about us being in war. Do I have to fight my own? Like, I think this lady might kill me in my sleep, okay? And I'm like, she 5150. Y'all need to send her to Fort Benning for a damn evaluation. So, anyway, but I'm going to get off of here. But I did want to come on. I wanted to see what the audience was like and just see how, things are going. But again, if I do see Beyonce tomorrow, one of my friends is looking out for me. She going to help me out with ticket money. And if I find a nice ticket, baby, I'm going to go. And I don't care if I'm by myself, solo dolo, baby. I'm going to go see Miss Beyonce, honey. Okay. And maybe I might run into Mama Tina. Mm-hmm. I'll be so excited to see my niecey Poo Blue. Anyway. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. This is a separate topic. I've been listening to some of my favorite bloggers that are on here, and I'm not going to say names, or just, you know, listening to people in general. I have never to this day understood why so many people hate Beyonce and why so many people speak so ill of her and her mom and her. I mean, it's like, to me personally, she's one of the most unproblematic artists, you know, aside from others. But as far as her being at that level, like, you don't have all the weird shit like you had with Michael Jackson. I'm sorry. That stuff was strange. I am a Michael Jackson fan, baby. Like I tell people, when I was 5, I used to tell people my name was Michael Jackson, okay? But that was just, you know, that type of stuff don't be happening. You know, they ain't no secret babies. You know, you out here getting donors and claiming these children. You know, I'm just saying. And, you know, I told my friend today, I think it's trauma. And I'm not just talking about the bloggers I listen to, but I think overall it is so much trauma. And the fact that some of these people in this generation that are generations behind us 70, late 70s kids and 80s children, those that were born like in the late 90s, the millennials and stuff, I think that, I don't know what, I think either it's trauma or they've just been exposed to too much too soon because reality TV is a big deal. You really don't get a lot of original programming. And I just don't know what it is, because I'm like, when you see people living their lives and being normal, why is that problematic for you? Like, what is that doing to you? And then I heard people say something like, you know, how is it that Solange isn't as big as Beyonce? And I'm like, she don't want to be. And she said as much. She don't want to be that famous to where, you know, she can't be normal. She can't be out. I remember, because I read the book. Well, I didn't read it. I listened to it, Matriarch, which, by the way, I encourage everyone to get it. It made me love Mama Tina even more. But I do want to talk to Mama Tina about some of the stuff that she left out. Like the demise of Destiny Child. What really happened? Um, so, you know, as far as when the original four were there, because it seemed like she had a really great relationship with the girls, especially Latavia. Um, but Solange just said she doesn't want to be famous. Mama Teen was talking about how as Destiny's Child's popularity was growing and they had come off the road, and I think that was around the time maybe Solange had done her solo album too. And, you know, Solange and her mom wanted to go to the mall. And, you know, they assumed Beyonce would be tired, but out of, you know, courtesy, hey, do you want to go to the mall? She did. And the look of disappointment. Because they knew that as soon as people saw, because let's be real, Beyonce is very recognizable. She's beautiful and you can easily see who she is. And, yeah, got mobbed, basically. And that's when, you know, you kind of realize, oh, I need security now. If you got to go out with security, and I always tell people, I don't want to be so famous to where I can't lead a normal life. I want to be one of those people like so many of the actors that I used to run into a lot when I would do, um, you know, when I worked in the entertainment industry. I want to be like one of those people. Hey, don't I know you from? And yeah, that I want to be that person. Like I want to be making just enough money to be comfortable, able to buy a house, get myself out of debt, get myself out of student loan debt, maybe even be able just, you know, not to have to work at all at some point. Just live off my investments. Um, but it's that's why. That's why. It has nothing to do, because it was just kind of known that Beyonce wanted this. And that's why she works so hard. And that's the other thing. That woman works hard. And she gives opportunities to so many. And I don't know how people don't see that. I really don't. And in some ways, it's heartbreaking. And like I'll tell anybody, I'll call it like I see it. And then people want to talk about Jay-Z, and I'm just like, we really don't know what he's done. We don't. But I like the way they move. We don't have to see crash outs online. We don't have to, deal with we ain't together and then y'all get back together. I mean, that shit, no one. And then get mad when you done put us in the group chat and then don't want us to talk about something, respect our privacy. No, you put it out there. Remember, y'all were over there talking about he cheating, she cheating, who cheating. But then when it comes to Beyonce and her mom, and people are just mean. And I really don't get the hate. And then, oh, that's not a country music album. Let me tell you, people who have been in country music right now will tell you country music has been the same since 9/11. And I grew up listening to country music. Okay, Christian and country music. And let's be real, Nashville is the home of not only country, but also gospel. And I didn't grow up in Nashville, but I'm just saying that's where a lot of the industry of the gospel music industry is. So, for you to tell people what country is and what it isn't, and the fact that also country music was originally done by black artists and then it was appropriated just like rock. But guess what? We don't care. Because I remember growing up, it's particularly growing up in Dallas, and we had K104 FM. Do you know who I heard on K104 FM growing up in addition to Ready for the World, Prince, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston? I heard George Michael. I heard Madonna. We have always been inclusive. We love music, you do it. But to have a whole genre of music, genres are a funny little thing, aren't they? For you to say we own it, no. Nothing in this world belongs to any of us. We don't belong to it, and it don't belong to us. So I'm ready for the rock era. I know it will be great, and y'all can't say shit about that either. I will never forget one time, one of the most ignorant things I heard. This girl at my church was putting together a fundraiser by doing a fashion show. And we were like, a great way to come in would be off of Lenny Kravitz's American Woman. I don't want to do that because that's white people music. Baby, Lenny is half black, half Jewish. What are you talking about? But that's how some people think, and that's how some people with country music think. They think black people ain't supposed to be doing it, even though there are so many black country music artists. And that's the other thing. The reason why Beyonce did that was to educate us. You didn't know about Shabuzi, did you? And some of y'all may have, because I'm one of those people. I have artists that some people have never heard of, but I turn them on to them. You know, um, because being in LA, you meet all types of independent artists. I'm very grateful to have met Cy Smith and Andrews. Those are two of my favorite independent artists, along with Jametta Rose. But what's her name? Tanner? Is it Brittany Tanner? Uh, the Boykins. I mean, it's just all types of artists out there, and the shit be bopping. Okay. So, and I also listen to some of any and everything, baby. The Doobie Brothers, you can't tell me I can't listen to my Doobie Brothers, okay? I mean, they sound very soulful. Hall and Oates, all of that. All of the music is a blend, but at the root of it, a lot of that came from black people. And I really encourage people who. But here's the thing, some people will never be ready to receive it. And that is why they will never do the research or be educated on it. But you really need to do research on the origins of music, certain musical genres. I'm just saying. But anyways, I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm meeting with a realtor tomorrow to go look at some rental properties. Because right now I'm staying in a corporate housing basically. And I love this space, but they don't allow dogs. So, and I miss my fur babies, but I'm so grateful that my special friend is watching them. He's such a good dog father. Anyways, I love you guys. Thank you all who did tune in. And for those of you who catch it on the playback, way back, comment. Let's have a conversation. I definitely will be back next Friday. But you may see me later on in the week. All right. Be safe out there.